move to such a topic which we have been doing since maybe grade 2, prepositions. Now here what you see, preposition. So basically the position of two nouns, the relation between two nouns, that is what you call a preposition. Now we have been doing it since grade 2, but what we are going to do here is at length. In the sense, we are going to categorize all the prepositions, right? I know they are very confusing, this topic. Whenever I have seen children attempting it, they'll end up making a lot of mistakes because they don't understand actually what the word is supposed to be. I mean, when is it supposed to be used? Yeah. So what is the usage? When is the application? They have no idea. So that is the reason today you are going to get the explanation of all the prepositions, yes, and how and when to apply them. So yeah, let's move on and catch up with the chapter. A preposition is a word which is placed before a noun or a pronoun, yes, to show the relation in which the person or the thing denoted by the noun stands to something else. So when I say the cat is sitting under the table, so it is giving you the relation between the cat and the table, right? The position of the cat relating to the table. This is what a preposition is. Now you have different kinds of prepositions. You have preposition of time, preposition of direction, preposition of position, preposition of place, and preposition of travel. So you have these different categories under which some particular prepositions are going to be placed and used. So let's begin with the preposition of time. At, for example, the very first preposition that we are taking, which comes under the category of time. Now don't worry, remember one thing, here we are categorizing for you to understand better. It's not that you will be asked in the exam, is this preposition of time or is this preposition of place? No. This has been done to make it way simpler for you when you have to solve your sentences. So please don't look at this and think that, oh, preposition of time, that means we have to mention that as well. No, you don't have to. In fact, you will be well related to the sentences once you have understood it. So whenever you have a sentence relating to time, yeah, accordingly you know which prepositions to use. So let's begin with at. It is used to indicate when something happens. When, okay? We use at with clock times, example periods of the year and periods of the day, festivals, etc. But we don't use at with morning, evening, afternoon, etc. Now what we do is, see, they are telling you time. Now we all know, I know it's pretty shocking. It's equally disgusting for us. Still today, I can, I listen to children saying that I will come to your house on 5 o'clock. I mean, this is where you're supposed to be very clear because, see, prepositions, this right now what we are doing is fine. You are doing it for your, to score your marks. But at the same time, you're also doing it to improvise your communication. Rather, you have to make sure that grammatically you sound correct. So this topic is very important from both viewpoints. So you kindly pay attention. Yeah. So at is used for time. I go to school at 7 o'clock. So o'clock, with the clock times. Then she married at the age of 25. At, I called my mother at night. Now, there's one thing we need to take care of. We don't use at with morning, evening and afternoon. At afternoon, at evening, at morning, no. But I called my mother at night. Quite often this blank comes and children land up writing in or, it goes wrong. So please keep this in mind. This is to be remembered. Then you have in. It is used to indicate the period of time in which something happens. The period of time in which something happens. Now we use in with centuries. So in the 21st century, years, I was born in the year 1980. Season, in winters, in summers. months, I was born in January. Periods of the day, that's morning, evening, afternoon. Now here, night doesn't come. They visited this place in summer, that is giving you the season. And my father went to the USA in October, that's giving you the month, right? Likewise, you will use in afternoon, in morning. I go for yoga in the morning, yeah? So that's what we do for in, then we don't use night here. Now, this is English literature flourished in the 16th century. That's an example. Century, when you're talking of the centuries, it is in the 16th century. So there's a duration, within that span of time it happened. That is the reason we use in such cases. Moving further, on. Now, it is used with days, dates, birthdays, anniversaries, etc. on a particular day. We went to see a movie on Saturday. He was born on April 12, 1999. So whenever you are specifying a date, it has to be on, right? Or a day. In that case also, you have to use on. Birthdays, anniversaries, these are all dates. If I talk of during, it may be used instead of in with periods of the day, months, season, years, decades and centuries to express the idea that something continues throughout the whole of a specific period. I'll give you a very simple example. I sat with my best friend during the break, recess, whatever you call it, during the interval, right? So that whole period, maybe a 15 minutes break you got, for those 15 minutes, you were with your friend, okay? So that is the time we don't use in the break, we use during the break, because it gives you the starting and the end point, and throughout that time, you were with your friend. So that is during. During the war, many people were killed. That means from the time the war started till the war ended, that whole duration, okay, that whole duration, many people were killed. We work during the day. So as sun rises, we start our work, and we sleep during the night. Throughout the night, we sleep. So you get the difference between in and during? Yes. Now by. By is used to indicate the latest time at which an action will be finished. That means he will finish this work by 5 o'clock. So that's the limit. By so and so time, I will be done. Applications must be received by 10th May. You are giving a deadline sort of. That's a deadline. So by so and so day, by so and so time, kindly make sure it is done. So the by is your limit, the last limit basically. Now, if I move further, for. Now this is used with periods of time to indicate how long an action lasts. For how long. It is generally used with the perfect tense, but is also used with other tenses. Yes, with the perfect tense. If you remember, how do you recognize your perfect tense? If you remember those two keywords which were taught to you in your tenses module? Yes, since and for, right? So this is that for, So you have to know the action, for how long that action took place, right? It rained continuously for 12 hours. It is giving you the duration, for how long. We stayed there for 15 days. So you see, you're getting the duration, how long you stayed there. Now, if I talk of since, now since, remember, is the starting point, SS. I had given you the same clue in your tenses module, since starting point. It is used with a point of time in the past from which some action began and it continues till the time of speaking. It is generally used with the perfect tense. Like I told you, since and for both are there to indicate your perfect tense. So since is your starting point, an action which started in the past, and right now while we are talking it is still going on, right? So he has lived in this house since 1980. That means he started living there 1980 and yet he continues to be there. She had been teaching since she was 30 years old. So from the time she was 30, she started then and still continues to teach, right? I'll give you one very good example, another example I should say, which will make things way more clearer for you. So if I tell you, I gave you this example, again I'm repeating, this example has been shared in the tenses module to make things more clearer. So if I am in the office and I ask you to come and meet me at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, all right, you'll end up coming at 5 o'clock. Now I tell you that I have been waiting for you since 3 o'clock. 3 o'clock was the starting point. You were supposed to meet me at 3. I have been waiting for you since 3 o'clock. I have been waiting for you for 2 hours. So for is the duration and since is the starting point. Those are the number of hours, the number of days, number of months. It can be any. The duration can be any. The unit of time. And since is your starting point. When did you start doing it? Moving further, from. This indicates the starting point of action in the past or the future. Now, they worked here from 1980 till or until means the same 1990, right? So they started from there till there. It started then and went on till there. She lived with them from the age of 20. Yeah, from the age, from that time onwards. Okay, so this indicates the starting point of action in the past or the future. Yes, till or until. They are used. Okay, I can hear someone saying, what about the present? Present we use since, if you remember. We just did it. Yeah. Okay, till or until, they are used to show something happening or done up to a particular point in time and then stopping. So, he is expected to be here till or until the end of the week. So, what is it trying to show? It is showing something happening or it is already done up to a particular point in time, till that time. Okay, he is expected to be here till the end of the week or until the end of the week. You will have to wait until my return. So, till I don't come back, please keep waiting until my return. Clear? Great. See, right now, please understand each of it. And when we start solving examples, it will be way more clearer. You have a lot of practice worksheets in your notes, in your practice questions. So don't you worry, you're going to have lots to do and make yourself perfect. Yeah, the concept will be absolutely clear. So yeah, moving further, before and after. Before and after are used to relate events to a particular time. Before means earlier than and after means later than something. That we are pretty well versed with. I get up before 6. They came here after 8 o'clock. So before and after, that's very clear, right? So these are your prepositions of time, preposition of direction. Now from, we'll move again. So see, from was there in time, also now in direction, in which context it is used, you need to understand that. Yeah. So from, it is used with the starting point or point of departure from a place or the point of origin. Origin means where you originally started. So, the plane from Mumbai has arrived. Now, this is what? The place of origin, the point of departure. Yes. Her towel fell from the 3rd floor of the hotel. So, it fell from there. That's the starting point. So, when you are using from in this, in this context, in the thing of direction, this is how we will use it. In which direction? Yeah. Then off. It means that It means from the surface of and also down from. Like the ball rolled off the floor. It went off. It went down from there. Keep your feet off the grass. Don't keep it on the grass, from the surface of. Don't keep it on that. We can also say she fell off the table, off the chair. So off the surface, down. Yeah. So this is off. If this even comes as switch off the buttons, or switch on the AC, switch off the TV, we don't say on the TV and off the TV, please. We use the word switch on and switch off. So this is what we use. Now, out of, it means from the interior of something, from the inside. Interior means inside of something. The bird flew out of the cage. So from inside it went out. It came out of the cage, right? I saw her coming out of the museum. So she was inside the museum. She came out of the museum. Very simple to understand. Now we head towards preposition of direction. Now these prepositions are to be used when you are talking about a certain direction. For example, for, this is used to show direction only when the verb indicates the beginning of a movement. Like, she left for Chennai early in the morning. We set off for Delhi. So what is it telling you? It's indicating the beginning of a movement, the beginning of a journey. Yeah, that is for. Against, it means to have contact or pressure. He put the ladder against the wall. He hit his head against the branch. So here it is showing contact. So this is the wall and this is the ladder. So you're putting it here. So it's coming in contact, and he hit his head, that's pressure, against the branch. Yes, when we say the television is, right, or the blackboard is against the wall. It is in contact with it. Yeah, it's not on the wall, it's against it. Moving further. 2. This is used for a destination or the end point. Now you started for Chennai, right? He went from Chennai to Bangalore. Now here it is giving you the destination, the end point. He was on his way to the station, right? Towards, this is used to indicate the direction of something. I saw her hurrying towards me. That means coming towards me. She was coming in my direction. So I saw her coming towards me. He stood with his back towards me. So he stood, now he is standing behind, so my back is towards somebody, right? So towards, in that direction, that is towards. See, for some, I know this might sound really very simple because like we have been doing it since years, but still we need to pay attention to make sure that we still get into the depth and understand it better with a very clear concept. Now, moving to the next, the preposition of position. Now we are talking of the positions. Under. Now this is definitely something you need to pay attention to, because very often, you don't want to say whether it is below or it is under, it is above or it is over, so often we tend to make these mistakes. Yeah. So this is something which, you really need to give your ears to. So it is used to indicate a position that is below or beneath something. It means vertically below. Now here, they took shelter under the trees. Now this is the person, the people maybe, and this is the tree. So under, it is vertically below them, right? The water flows under the bridge. So under the bridge, now what is there? This is the bridge and the water flows. So it is coming vertically down there. Underneath. This has the same meaning as under. It means a position below something. It generally implies covered by something so that the object covered is not seen. So it is underneath something, it's being covered. She found crumbs underneath the carpet. The ball rolled underneath the table. So it was not visible, right? Underneath the carpet, the thing what is underneath is not visible. Moving further to below and beneath, it means in a position lower than something, below that. So the lake is 500 feet below the sea level. It is below that. Now here there is nothing vertical. So please understand the difference between under and below. They found the body beneath a pile of grass. Now see, I'd like to give you one more difference which is very prominent. Now under and below. When you are talking of under, they took shelter under the trees. That means they were covered by the trees. If they are saying the water flows under the bridge, that means the water is being covered by the bridge. That's where it is, under. Here, if we are talking of the lake is 500 feet below the sea level, there's nothing vertically and there's nothing covering it. Try and understand the difference between the two. They found the body beneath a pile of grass. So there was nothing vertical. It was just there, right? So please try and understand here it was covered beneath. It was covered by something which it was not visible. That is why it is beneath. I hope it's really clear, but still as we will solve more examples, we will understand better. So don't you worry. Over. Now it is used to indicate a position vertically above something or somebody or partly or completely covering the surface of something. You are covering the surface of something. She hung the painting over the fireplace. It was over. There were books all over the table. Also, over indicates movement, right? The dog jumped over the wall. So, there is movement. Alright, then above. This is used to indicate a position higher than something. Above has the sense of something being directly over something else, exactly on top of it. The pilot was flying above the clouds. You will not say over the clouds, right? It was not covering it. So it was above it. It is vertically up, yes, a position higher than something, and also the sense of something being directly over something else. So these are the clouds and this is the plane. Yeah, the pilot was flying. We lived in the room above the shop. Now this was the shop and we lived over there above it, the room which was on top of it. So above it, that's where we are talking of above. Now above and over, we understood what is the difference. Over is indicating more of movement as well. At. Now we move towards preposition of place. Yeah. So at is used to show the exact point. Exact point. Houses, stations, small villages, etc. She works at the post office. The plane landed at Kolkata airport. So it is giving you the exact point, right? I'll tell you further when we come across more. In is generally used when the reference is not to any specific place or to the names of large cities, countries and continents. Many people in India live in villages. It is not giving you an exact point. Exact point at is giving you. In is just telling you they are there, right? They do not give you any specific place. They lived in Europe for 10 years. So they lived in Europe for 10 years. You remember for, we just did it previously? Yes. So in Europe, it is just giving you not a specific place, but yeah, you are there in Europe. On, it is used to indicate a particular area of land or place where something is. They spent a few days on an island. Okay, it is indicating a particular area of land. So island is a place. They built their house on a beautiful piece of land. It is telling you a specific area of land, particular area of land or a place. That is where we use on. So you see, at, in and on. I am telling you, though they are two-letter words, but trust me, If you change any of these, instead of in you use at, it changes the whole thing. It's totally wrong. It's definitely wrong. So though they are just 2-letter words, but they are way important to understand when to use them. Then you have prepositions of travel or movement. Across, it is used to indicate movement from one side of a space or area, the line, to the other side. I walked across the road. Now, if I am walking from this end to that end, I am walking across. I'm walking across the room. I'm going to the other side of the room, right? They flew across the Pacific. So they started from here and they went to the other side of the Pacific. That is across. Across, you can also say, I parked the car across the road, or the shop is across the road. That means on the other side. That is across. Along, this is used to indicate movement from one end to or towards the other end of something. From one end to the other end of something. We walked along the street. From one end you started and you went to the other side. See, it is indicating movement. That's important, right? Movement from one end. It's from one end of the street to the other end, towards the other end of something, to or towards. He hurried along the path towards me. He came from that side and he came towards me. I was walking along the seashore. We walked along the fence. The fence was there. You have the fence of the walls, right? Then when you're saying seashore, you are walking along, from one end to the other. Into, very important, the difference between in and into. So this is used to indicate movement inside a place seen as a volume. The opposite of into is out of. It is used for entering a place, building, vehicle, etc. He got into a car. Inside something big, voluminous. The athletes marched into the stadium. There is movement and you are going something. You are entering a building or a place. The boy jumped into the pool. It's movement, yeah? So please remember, it's something big. He's entering something big. That is movement. So it is into, yeah? That's not in, it's into. Onto. This is used to indicate movement into a position on an object or a surface. That means he climbed onto the roof. It is movement where into a position on an object. You are getting onto something. He climbed onto the roof. There is movement. He went there and he went onto the roof. She stepped out of the train onto the platform. You are showing a particular position on an object or surface. Platform, yeah, that's the surface. So this is how you talk of onto. Through, don't worry, we are near the end, so we are just there. I know it's not confusing because it's getting clearer, but yeah, soon we will have exercises, solved examples, as well as something for you to try your hands on. Through, this is used to indicate movement from one end of an opening. One end of an opening or a passage to the other. The main very clear example is a tunnel. It's an opening, it's a passage. The train passed through a tunnel. Please remember this, through is what? It is movement from one end of an opening or a passage to the other. So the train passed through a tunnel. The ball went flying through the window. Through the window, from one end to the other. It's an opening, yeah? That's through. Up and down. Up is used to indicate movement to a higher position and down is to a lower position. Now this is pretty crystal clear. We climbed up the hill. She fell down the stairs. It's giving clear indications, clear directions. It's giving you travel, the movement. So when you're talking of movement, it is up and down. Yeah. On, in, by. Now in case of travel, We may use on, in or by while using a public or a private vehicle. On is used when the vehicle is seen as a surface. In is used when it is seen as a volume. And by is used to indicate the means of travel. Very, very, very important. Please take note of this. We traveled on the plane. On the plane does not mean this is your plane and you were on top of it. No. You are looking at it how it is, you are talking of, it is seen as a surface. They traveled by bus. Okay. Now here by is used to indicate the means of travel. And we traveled in a ship. It is seen as a volume. It's a huge thing. We were traveling in it. So you see the difference now? On, by, in. Don't worry, you're going to get these in your notes so you can read them again and actually follow the same. Now we move towards between and among. I have seen quite often children getting confused between and among. So we all know very well that between is between two people, yeah, or two things. So if you see here, between is used with two persons or things and among is used with more than two people or things. See the examples. She divided the apples between the two children. So there were two children, she divided between them, not among them. She divided the money among her 3 daughters. So you see there are more than two, so it is among, right? So you have to know this very well. Otherwise, grammatically, you will go wrong. By and beside. Now, another two set of prepositions which actually cause a lot of confusion. By means close to someone or something. It's close, nearby. Beside means by the side of someone or something. Now, beside is by the side of, next to. Okay, you can also call it next to. Whereas by, it just means close. Now, see the difference. She was sitting by the door. She was close to the door, by the door. The child is sitting beside her mother. Beside her mother means next to. You know, your friend sits next, beside you. You know, in class, you all are two people on a bench. So, you all are sitting next to each other, beside each other, right? So, you see the difference between by and beside. So, these are some sort of confusing prepositions which you need to take note of. And of course, once this has been understood, we can move further to the exercises. So, yeah, let's go for it. Just one basic exercise first. The lion was killed, dash the hunter, dash a gun. Now, before I need to say answers, you have to think of the answers. Options are given to you. So, the lion was killed by the hunter with a gun. Perfect. Divya divided her work, dash her colleagues. You see, it's colleagues. It's not mentioned two. So, definitely it's more than two. So, we will say among. Yes. He has been living in this house since 1985. Since that time. He has, even now he is living. He has been living. I shall return dash a month. I shall return in a month. I shall return of a month. I shall return on a month, or I shall return for a month. When you're confused, do this. And the right one will sound correct to you. So, I shall return in a month. The novel is lying, very simple, on the table. We shall finish this work dash 5 p.m. today. In 5 p.m. today, at 5 p.m. today, by 5 p.m. today, or on 5 p.m. today. So, here you're going to finish. So, it is by. By that time, we will finish. Send me letters dash this address. By, in, to, on. You want it on a particular address. So, it is on this address. You should listen dash what your parents say. Among, in, to, between. Commonly, I mean, it's a very common sense thing. You listen to somebody. So, listen to what your parents say. Nikhil writes in his diary. He did not listen to my advice. You listen to, that's the phrase. You listen to. Got it? So yeah, if you want to try this on your own, you can do it. You have the answers right here. So you can always solve the exercise and then check your answers. Moving to some further practice now. This is what is generally asked. See, till grade 8, we used to get what we just did. Okay, the exercise that we just solved, we used to get something based on that. But now, 9th onwards, you will have a lot of additions and editing and omissions. Yeah. So you have to, and then something missing, something omitted. So you have to get used to these type of exercises. So let's move. In the following paragraph, one word has been omitted in each line. So whichever word has been omitted, I'll tell you how to go about. Write the missing words in the given paragraph along with the words that come before and after. See, most the people. Now, most of the people. So here you will have most, here you will have of, and here you will have the. So it is coming here. So you want to write all the three. The word that comes before the missing word, then the missing word which is of, and then the word which is after the missing word which is the. Okay, now this is how we are supposed to do this exercise. Now, how are you actually going to do it? So first, whenever you have any such kind of exercise, please do exactly what I am telling you. Read the entire paragraph even if you don't understand it. Do it. Half your things will be solved as you are doing it. See, most the people are annoyed passwords. They have many, remember, on any given day are bound forget them. This creates difficulties the people. You got it? Now let's solve it line by line. So first one we did, most of the people are annoyed with passwords, right? So annoyed with passwords. So here you will have annoyed with passwords. They have many, remember. They have many to remember. So many to remember. On any given day are. So on any given day, they are. Who they? We are talking about the people. So day, they are. Bound, forget them. Bound to forget. Very good. Bound to forget. So the word before, the missing word, and the word after. This creates difficulties for the people. So difficulties for the. Got it? Yes. So whenever you have any such thing, don't worry, it's not a problem. You just have to read it nicely. When you start reading, automatically you get the answers. It's not that we've never spoken, right? So if you are a fluent speaker, this is a piece of cake. That means it's very easy. Yes. So please keep speaking. And yeah, here you have the solution. So the word before the missing word, the word after the missing word, and this was the missing word. The solution to the question we just solved. Yes? Now here we have another exercise to solve, a similar one. So what we'll do is, again we will first read the paragraph and then we will start solving. A large part, India's population is illiterate. Illiteracy is biggest evil of the Indian society. Removal illiteracy is necessary and all-round development of country. Sounded odd because words are missing. We are going to insert those words. So, a large part of India's population, so part of India's is illiterate. A large part of India's, now you can check it. A large part of India's population is illiterate. Clear? Illiteracy is biggest evil. Illiteracy is the biggest evil. You have a superlative, EST. The youngest, the oldest. right? So you always have the before the est. So is the biggest. So illiteracy is the biggest evil of the Indian society. Removal illiteracy. Removal of illiteracy. Very good. Removal of illiteracy is necessary for an all-round development. For an. So necessary for an all-round development of country. Of the country. Of the country. Now you must be wondering that here you have articles, prepositions, tenses all mixed, but this is how it takes place. You will not get only based on prepositions. Even prepositions are a major part of it, but you have to make sure that you know all of them. This is integrated grammar. You will not get it topic wise like we have, you are habituated to that till grade 8. But not any longer. So this is integrated, all the topics come. See, that's why you have to know your, each and every concept very clearly. You have to know your prepositions very well. You have to know your articles very well, your tenses very well, your, verb forms very well. Once you know that, you cannot make a mistake in this. So this is all topics integrated in one. This is how it works in grade, 9th onwards. So yes, here we have the solution for the same. So if you are trying it, you have the solution, you can check it. Now, enough of me spoon feeding you. I think it's time for you to do something. So please make sure you solve this. I am not going to. It's going to be there in your notes. Yes, please make sure you solve this and get to know how much of the topic you have actually understood. If not, you will actually go through the entire module once again, and trust me, it is going to be worth it. So please don't be lazy at this. Yes, so you have this exercise for practice, and remember, you get what you work for, not what you wish for. I wish to score the highest, I want to top the school, I want to get the highest percentage in the family. How? Just by wishing? No ways. You have to work for the same. And for working for it, you have to keep watching all the modules with proper attention and work diligently. This is how you will score the best. Yes? So yes, keep watching and keep learning.